Hey, what is going on, you dead set legends? I thought I would just go live to ensure I give you an update of what is going on. Just waiting for Jerry, just running a little bit, behind and things like that. So hopefully it won't be too long till he jumps up soon. So I thought we could discuss a few things about Jerry before he jumps on, and hopefully there. So I've sent him all the details. I've sent him everything, and then hopefully, because he finishes work, and then it's like a little bit of a half an hour period. So he's probably hanging out with his wife and being a good dad and things like that. So we'll have a chat, we'll have a laugh, and we'll talk about who we think. We'll get a bit of data. We should have a chat of who we think Jerry should pull next. Because so many talks, and of course, he's in a triangle battle on YouTube with Devon and Ermi. So if you haven't already, check out the poll. I've got who should Jerry pull next, and in my three, you can put in a fourth option. I forgot to put that. If you think there's a fourth option, drop it in the comments. But I had Ermi's, Levan, and Devon as the three options, obviously because Levan's number one in the world, and the other two because they're just jaw-jacking on the old Tinternet, which is good. But of course, while we're here, I will thank my YouTube and Patreon bangers for as little as 50 cents a week. These dead set legends are hanging and banging, slinging and slanging with the Aussie arm wrestler. So every single dollar goes back to the channel, and I really, really do appreciate it. And we'll go from there. As give us a ready bang. Give us who you think Jerry should pull next. Now, you just gotta remember, when it does come to Jerry, you just got to remember, he's like the East versus West heavyweight champ. So for me, when you're the champ, you just keep on moving up. So some of the suggestions I've been getting is a bit hang on, what is going on? But guys, we're just waiting for Jerry. If you've just joined us, my best way to contact him is on Facebook, but he hasn't checked my last few messages. So he's probably busy with his family there. And of course, John, being Canadian, my man, Uncle John Thompson, says Jerry versus Devon for the win. Was watching in and out, watching your live stream there, my man. It was cool to just know about Canadian arm wrestling. I was just doing bits and pieces, family stuff, trying to plan this, but I do appreciate it. Marcus Thompson is in the chat. I mean, worst case scenario, if Jerry misses these messages, we'll reschedule and we'll just do our own live stream. But Marcus Thompson is in the house. Kane is in the house, says Artyom Morozov is an amazing shout. That match Jerry should push for. It sounds weird, but Jerry's the champ. So, pulling Morozov it's not so much a step down, but if you look at the world rankings, you know what I mean? For me, Jerry's the East versus West champion, so he should just take on the Legacy Hammer champion. Whoever wins out of Levan and Ermi's at East versus West, I think that's the next way. I don't mind if he takes on... Well, I would say if he takes on Ermi's, because we're supposed to have that match. But if Ermi's loses at East versus West... if Ermi's loses at King of the Table, he loses his... No, that's not the message we were after. He loses his East versus West interim championship. So we'll get in there. Who else is in the chat? Shane Show's big on Morozov. Pele is in the chat, says ready bang. Devon's forearm says Devon would crush Jerry again. Go for Ermi's. It's the awesome Aussie, says the tipster. Thanks, buddy. Good to see you in here. Hopefully Jerry replies to my message soon, guys. But that's the thing. I'm not bothered at all, because this is these arm wrestlers, they don't ask for anything. They just give me their time, and that I'm appreciative. So, Jerry, pick up your damn phone. Check the messages. So we'll have to wait and see, because I know last time we did a podcast after his last East versus West win, we started a little bit later, but we agreed at 7 p.m. Eastern. So I reckon He's maybe just forgotten at the moment. Swedish Viking in the house. Ready Bang Gang in the house. Flat Balls 2094 says it's hammer time. Deeps. Jerry could pull Alex, I suppose. I wouldn't mind if Alex just pulls anyone, to be honest. Ready Bang. We've got everyone in the chat. Peter's in the chat. So I just keep keeping an eye on Facebook, but Jerry hasn't jumped on Facebook. So that's a little bother. But we'll have a chat because my family have just come back from their walk. Rob Avis in the chat says, Ready Bang. I think Hermes. This is an Arm Gods top, hey? They do look pretty slick, I must admit. They do look slick. And the announcement of the Commonwealth Games next year. Marcus, you know I am up and about for the Commonwealth Games next year. So if you're from a Commonwealth country, make sure you get over to armgods.com April next year. If you just joined me, I'm just waiting for Jerry to pick up his phone and have a look. So not sure what's going on there. The roving ton, my man Peter from Table IQ says, yeah, the Aussie arm wrestler. Francis says, what's up, Aussie? Just old Joe. Hello. Have you voted in the chat? Lucha Pagliacci says, voted for Jerry versus Devon. Josh Barker says, Jerry versus Ryan Bowen. White Wolf, Ready Fang. Definitely Cadorette needs a match. Jerry should face Devon next, says Hunzy. Not sure about should, but yeah. Ready Bang. Cheers, everyone. So just having a quick look. Let's have a look. Levan says he wants to pull Jerry. I'm sure he will be next. Jake, I really hope Jerry goes on a rant today. What do you say? I just hope he checks his phone and jumps on there. If I said hi to everyone, Alan the Hitman Ford, I think you're on a way to a tournament or something, Alan. Hope you are going well, my man. Okay. What else? Okay. Just double checking. Nope, he's still not active on Facebook. I don't know how many times I can message him, but I'll have a chat with you, Dead Set Legends. So, Jerry ended up going against Georgie. Jerry's had 2 comeback matches and he's won them both. And even with the giant pads, they both were still elbow failing. I don't think that however big the pads are, the style of Jerry's pulling will always be elbow fouls because he's giving people his hand. So they're always dropping a big top roll. He's leaning forward. And we will go from there. So I do think the winner of King of the Table should take on Jerry. Jerry's the super heavyweight champion of East versus West. I think it just makes sense. I wouldn't mind seeing and then you have your Hermes and Morozov or your Alex Cadorette in there with those guys. Maybe a Denis Plenkov and things like that. Entertainment-wise, of course, I would love to see Devon versus Jerry. That could be an Arm Gods match. Marcus, sign that up for the Canada show. But I do think that's the way. Hungry Hippo says Jerry he's earned his spot. Yeah, I think so as well. Everyone's like, no, he's got to be like. I think the problem is where we were slightly disappointed. One, the matches were won on fouls. 2, we wanted to see Georgie or Jerry win dominantly. And so we could sit there and go, yes, this guy is definite for Hermes. You know what I mean? Like everyone's saying that Jerry needs to pull someone else, but they're happy with Hermes, who was the interim East versus West champion from beating Dave Chafee. They're like, yep, Hermes is allowed to. But I think because it's North American dude in Jerry, they're like, no, hoops, jump through hoops. So, because you got to understand, Hermes beat number 2 in WAF. Jerry beat number 1 in WAF. So, as Hermes has already beaten Arif Adam. And, of course, he beaten Dave Chafee. So, guys, just letting you know, I'm just waiting for Jerry to check his phone. Just waiting for Jerry to check his phone. We agreed at 7 p.m., but he, you just don't know. Family issues might come up. He's doing something with his family. And you know what? He just might have forgotten. And that is okay, because these guys don't ask for any money. These guys don't ask. They just are happy to come on the show and have a laugh. And I hope you enjoyed the Neil show, the Sandra show. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. Problem is, do you think the pay-per-view will sell if the match isn't close? Example, who would pay to see me versus Levan? We want close matches. Well, I think, you've also got John versus Dennis. So that pay-per-view is going to sell. Everyone wants, it's an interesting question, Josh, but everyone wants, sorry, I'm just checking all avenues in case I've got a message from Jerry. Everyone wants to see Levan pull. Todd and Oleg's love child. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that, my man. It was Australia Day yesterday here, and I had a good time with my family. But thank you very much for the super chat. But yeah, so we want to see where Devin. We want to see where Devin is at. Not Devin, where Levan is at. Because for me, if you're the best in the world, I want to, regardless if you are flooring everyone, I want to see the best in the world pull. And the best in the world is Levan. So I love seeing up and comers. It was like with Mike Tyson. At one stage, no one could touch Mike Tyson. There was no point Mike Tyson even boxing because he was flogging everyone. But Buster Douglas come along, put Tyson on his ass. And that's what I'm after. Because I'm involved in other sports, I see that this team's gone undefeated. No point having a grand final. And then suddenly the other team wins. I'm looking for my Buster Douglas of arm wrestling. Can Hermes even get a pin at King of the Table? Can Jerry's flop press be sustainable for the weight and power if he can get his shoulder behind it? These are the things that I want answered. And if they do get answered, I'm always up for rematches. Guys, just quickly, if you have joined, I'm just waiting for Jerry to message. If you can hit the like button and everything. He still hasn't read all my messages. We agreed that he was going to come on the show at this time, but that is okay. Who is in the chat? G'day, bangers, arm wrestling for nerds. John the Savage Terrian is in the chat. Pulling for pink slips. Jerry's tongue has the slip on it. What else have we got? Flat Balls was 6 years old when the Buster Douglas happened. Buster Douglas killed his aura. Yeah, it would have been better if Buster Douglas went on a win streak. So say Hermes beats Levan or Jerry beats Levan, and then they go on and they're the new number one, beating everybody. OG in the house, one of my Patreon bangers with a ready bang. Who else is in there? The Red Man is in the house. Robert Kelly, Joel Cagle, the Chicken Man is on there. John versus Dennis might be a mismatch, says Alex. Who knows? Give Jerry a break. He's in the bathroom practicing his tongue moves. I'll tell you what. I think his wife might be very, very happy. Just saying. Lickety lips. Jerry Cadorette. Good evening, Aussie. Love Jerry. Going to be a good night. Ready, bang. Yeah. Oh, no. I got a notification, but it wasn't from Jerry. So if anyone's got Jerry's actual phone number, ring him and say you're supposed to be on the Aussie Arm Wrestler show. Hey, but these things happen. So we'll see how we go. Jake, stop stalking. Where was that one? Jake, stop stalking. Jerry, restraining order. I stalk all the people. I do the best thing. Jerry doing his best here, showing up late. OG, my thought process, and it has been for a while, if Dennis beats John, I think he'll call out Devon. I think there's 3 matches ready for Dennis this year, and it's John. If he beats John, he calls out Devon. And if he calls out Devon, then it's Levan. It wouldn't surprise me if he skips Devon, but you've just got to think Dennis might not have many matches in his comeback, so you just got to think cash. Cash, cash, cash. Even though his YouTube channel is killing it, I think you've just got to go cash, cash, cash. Guys, if you're just joining, not sure where Jerry's gone. He's done an old David Copperfield at the moment. Ready, bang, off topic, but just saw Monster Michael Todd's meltdown from last Saturday. What an embarrassment, but Travis racing was awesome. Nah, I got to disagree with you there, Tony. What I saw was Michael Todd being passionate, and you saw a whole heap of people that hate the Kings move. You know what I mean? Like, some rules were called differently during that match to other matches. So I was a bit like, poor Monster Michael Todd, just frustration, not going his way. He did admit that Kittigali was better, but, he does these little cryptic things like, you don't know what happened hours beforehand. I don't know if it was a meltdown. He shows passion. He puts everything on the line. And you get your criticisms when you do that, which obviously Tony and Travis and who else. So, yeah, for me, here we go. He's read my message. So let's see how this goes. Good sign. Jerry has read my message. So let's just wait and see. That's a good sign. Angry Tit says, people forget how good Ongabayev is. Yes, they. I think it was more. Hey, the big fella.
What's up?
How are you, my man?
Good, Joe.
Always good, always good. I'm talking to the East versus West Super Heavyweight Champion. How could I not be good?
That's right. See?
There you go. Are you on your phone? Do you want to turn your phone? Because you're a big dude with a massive tongue.
I tried to click the link, but it wouldn't open. So I had to copy the link, go paste it in the website.
Yeah. Oh, you should have let me know. I would have helped you out. Well, we're all here. Everyone, we got 112 people waiting because, ladies and gentlemen, this man just decided to have an Olympic Games off. He had 4 years off and just went, I'm going to destroy everyone. When I come back, we saw what he did with Gennady, and we saw what he did with the WAF World Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our East versus West Super Heavyweight Champion. It's Lickety Lips Big Daddy, Jerry Cadorette, my man. How are you?
What's up? Doing well.
Mate, how are you feeling? How are you feeling after that East versus West win?
My arm was a little sore. I ended up, it was much harder than I anticipated, but I didn't train going into it. That's the problem. So I tried to do it just based on my experience. I was healthy where I wasn't injured anymore because I had injured my shoulder a few months back, and I had the labrum fixed. And so I didn't want to lift any weights. They told me no weights. And so I wrote it out. But I paid the price at that meet because it was difficult.
So you didn't want to lift any weights, but you just, hello, Engen. Yes. 164 kilo opponent, sign me up. But am I correct to say that, because when we were watching the match, it said that he weighed in at 164 kilos. But is it my understanding that he was a little bit heavier?
Yeah, it was 172.
Shit.
Because we didn't have to weigh in. Fat boys don't have to weigh in. So, but we just wanted for shits and giggles, wanted to see what each other was, and he was 172.
Mate, that is like, That is ridiculous, and a part of me is happier. The heavier, the better. We'll get into future matches in a moment, but like, look, I'm not a super heavyweight champion. Shit, I'm only a third place amateur. So because the match you ended up winning on fouls. For you, is that just a part of the game? Does that take a sting out of the win, or did you just feel elbow fouls or not, I had the big fella?
I thought I thought it was going to be much easier than it was.
Yeah,
I definitely underestimated him, and I was super impressed at feeling how strong he was. I just know the level I was when I went there was not the level I was like when I went against Gennady.
the level that you're at without training. That's ridiculous. So like once you heal up, like rest from this match, will you be able to go back into the gym and lift?
Yeah. I'm projecting that I'll start lifting on this Sunday. My arms, it's fine now. It was real sore the day after, and then
Cool.
It's progressively got a little bit better each day. So and like today is just a little painful. Nothing. A couple of ibuprofen doesn't cure.
Hey, couple of profits, couple of beers, you'll be right. Stop bloody whinging, Jerry. Mate, main event. A lot of us have been speaking about it. 7 hours. So it was about 5.5 hours from when the event started to when your match. 5.5, 6 hours. Does that play a factor for you? When do you turn up to the arena? Are you there the whole time? Just like, hurry up, guys. I want to crush this big dude.
Yeah, right. I stayed in my room, and we stayed there until I think around midnight, and we went down around probably right about midnight. We went down, maybe just 10 minutes before, and we got to see, what was the first match we saw? Trying to, holy shit! Look at my memory's bad. She's got no excuse. She should be remembering the which match we saw first. We saw Paul Lynn's match. We saw Corey West's match. We saw Michael Todd's match. We saw who else was right around then? We saw Gennady's match. So I want to say maybe it was right after. I don't remember, but we saw a lot of good matches. But
Okay.
I was going. I tried to stay in the room so I could take a nap before.
Yeah, well, when kickoff time, when you're going down to watch matches at midnight and kickoff time's a little bit later, I understand. I totally get it. So the rest of the world can watch you do what you do best. But yeah, I always wondered if you're someone that just sits there all day and does this, but yeah, go have a nap.
That's it. I wanted to eat and sleep.
Arm wrestle later. What, Wolf? You dead. So
I said I didn't get to sleep. I just sat in the room, nothing. I just was resting, and then I had everyone. Not everyone. I had a few of my friends messaging me and telling me what was happening with the matches before me, because I had planned it where I wanted to get down about 30 minutes before my match, and figured that I'd be going on by 12:30. And my last time there, I was around midnight. But I think there was less matches on the East versus West 4. I want to say it was either 14 or 15, but they weren't long like this one. This one was, I'll tell you, Engen did a great job lining people up, because it was like every match was a war.
There were definitely some good matches, especially if you're an arm wrestling purist and like those rules. I am not, so it was pretty long. Just for me, I think the only thing I don't like is Like if you've got me, Jerry, and then I know you're kind of going to pin me, or I know I can't come back, I'll just lift my elbow up and we'll start again. It's that, or like when you and Georgie were pulling, and like you would set up, and then you both couldn't get your grip right, so you both walked off, went and got a breath, re-chalked up, and then come back to the table. It's all that little dead time. The matches itself for me, I thought were great. But yeah, and there's a lot of them. White Wolf with the super chat. Thank you. He says, sup, Jake and Jerry. Jerry, how much table time are you getting in per week? Seems like you are a super busy guy besides from the arm wrestling game. It's got to be tough to find table training partners, eh?
It is. I practice on the table once a week, and I do it for about 3 hours, right? I go to a buddy of mine that holds practices, Jimmy Fitzsimmons, at his house, and then he gets anywhere from 20 to 30 people to show up. And lately, I was fortunate and had Nick Stone, Damian Caledonia, Duke Sarkeesian, Chris Burns. I was fortunate enough to get people that were heavier in weight. And Nick is really strong. Nick won the United States Nationals last year. So it was good to have him come up. And he drove like 2 hours and 45 minutes to come help.
Oh, beautiful. Do you get excited when like you sell cars, because then you can just flop press them to the people? They're like, oh, I'll just get it out the back, and you just tie a strap around and you just hook it up to the car and you just flop press. There you go, guys. There you go. The service from Jerry. There you go. And flop it there. Because at the moment, it seems like that's the only training you could get in your area.
Yeah, right. It's a little different, right? We just pull them, push them, do whatever we got to do.
Yeah, it's madness. OG is in the chat and he says, hey, Jerry, have you seen Levan's comments about your match?
No, I didn't see it. I'm sure he's got 2 cents to throw in, but that's probably not worth reading. But whatever it is, it is. I know if I was an outsider looking in and looking at that version of me, that version of Jerry, didn't look too impressive. But I'll tell you what. People that don't know Georgie, he's pretty freaking strong. And remember this, he's went against Levan 10 times and beat him 4. That's one of split. So he can't be looked as a joke, right? I mean, the dude was strong. And I mean, whether I was in shape or out of shape, he's still strong.
Well, what do you say? Absolutely. To have 172 massive kilos just leaning on your arm, and to be able to hold and pull him over to your side of the table is nothing short of impressive, regardless if you won on fouls or not. But I was gonna ask, but what do you say to everyone out there that just calls you a one-trick pony?
Like I said, comments don't bother me. I'm up for the challenge, and I would prefer people to go inside, right? And I asked Georgie to go inside, but he didn't want it, right? And you see his comments afterwards. People said, "Why didn't you go inside with him?" And Georgie says, "Because he's too strong, and he would have beat me 3-0." So
at least he was honest.
No, I understand. And there was one time I thought he was trying to turn in, and then I started to pull him over, and then he went right back out. And I was like, fuck, that was close. I should have hit harder. Other than him, it was, I definitely didn't want it to go that long. But I think it helped me out in a sense where the match went so long and he was getting winded.
Yeah. Oh, there was a stage I rewatched it with the normal audio, and you could hear Georgie sucking in the wind big time. How do you go with the WAF style East versus West refereeing? I don't know if it was just this time. There just seemed to be a lot more complaining about the referees this event prior to others.
I'm glad I won, but I would say one of the difficult points for me were I went to the 4 o'clock rules meeting because, again, they had extended the pad by a centimeter in each direction, top, bottom, left, and right.
Yeah.
So having done that, they said there's zero leniency on elbow fouls and that they were going to go over the rules. So I was, okay. So I listened. And then I obviously I went up to the table and I was asking, so if my elbow, the tip of my elbow, right, the tip, if it goes over the front, because for me, there should be a bead around the elbow pad, like just, like a little bead around the pad, because if you have, and for me, I always keep pressure on my elbow because using a press, your elbow's usually dug into the pad. So in teetering to the front, unless you're staring at it, and I'm not staring at the pad, I'm staring in the direction I'm driving. So that bead would help to establish, okay, I'm at the edge. And they said, no, if your elbow goes off at all, it's a foul. So I was like, okay, I've been warned, and it is what it is. First match, what do? I hit, my elbow drives to the front of the pad, and it teeted just to the edge, and then I pulled it back, and they called me for the foul. And I was like, fuck, right? I says, okay, well, I can't blame anyone, right? I says, shit, I says, all right, that's my fault, my bad. I felt it go right to the edge, but I immediately pulled it back. Like if you watch it, you'll see it's got to be half a second. And now I'm fine because they told me that they were going to call it. So listen, I'm a big boy, right? So I did it. It's my foul. However, it has to remain consistent. It needs to be called when he goes off the back, because there's a thread out there, or a post, whatever the freak you call it, and you can see his elbow when he's getting the second match, when they're going to call the pin on me, and his elbow is clearly, the tip is off the back, right? So why isn't it consistent off the back as it is on the front? And I mean, the ref's looking right there, but he's looking across at the pin level rather than the elbow that's right in front of him.
Yeah, that would be.
It is what it is. I don't give a fuck. I'm just telling you, it's got to be consistent. And I truly believe if it goes to the edge, they should have a tip, have that bead around it. Or what they should do is the ref should tell you, you're right there on the edge, right? And warning, get it back. And then if you don't get it back, then a foul, right? Because there's no advantage gained, but then when it's on the other, when the shoe's on the other foot, you got to be consistent and call it on the other dude too.
Should they have a bigger rotation of refs and save those guys for, say, the championship matches? Because there was like 3 or 4 refs, and to ref elite level arm wrestling for 6-7 hours would be tiring. You know what I mean? Like, I'm commentating and I'm watching as a fan and I'm enjoying it, and I was knackered. So do you think fatigue played at all, or they just had an off day during your match?
I don't know. Like I said, where was the consistency? And the foul that they called on him for elbow fouls, it was like those were intentional, where Georgie pulled it off the back of the pad. And like you said, they gave him a restart. When if it was just a running foul, which that would be a lot better, especially for cases like that, because here he is in a losing position. Okay, now I'm going to pull it off the back and just get a restart.
Yeah, no good.
I couldn't agree with you more that they should be running fouls, because that's an escape plan, right? And oh shit, I'm uncomfortable, I'm winded, I need a restart. Pull my elbow off the back, and then now I'm going to get a restart. And then
we saw Irakli do it. We saw Oleg Petrenko do it. But in saying that, that's the rule set, and they played right to the rules, and we saw Georgie do it. But anyway, enough about the bloody rules. Let's talk about, just explain the people, because not many people can sustain that sort of weight on their shoulder and elbow joint. Does it? Because you've been doing this for so long, so it might sound like a dumb question, but for someone so big, does it feel any different, or are you just in Jerry competitive mode? Like, He is a massive, like 40 kilos heavier than you. You're around the 130-ish. He weighs in the 170. Like, that's like some of us can't even pick up a 40-kilo dumbbell, and you've got that heavier than you sitting on your arm. What's that feel like?
Painful, right? It's not by choice, right? But your pride kicks in and says you can't lose, and so the intent is I got to hold him up for as long as I can, and every time he would try to move or readjust, I'd apply more pressure, and therefore I was looking for him to try to transition so I could push him back. But it worked in my favor because holding him up exhausted him, and he wasn't able to transition because every time he tried, I applied more pressure and would have been able to push him back and down. Because people keep saying, why didn't he transition and get behind it? What do they think? I'm a fucking idiot, right? I try that, right? And I love, it's like the next morning, it's like, oh, they did this wrong, they did that wrong, they did this wrong. That's I call those people the Monday morning quarterbacks. But
yeah,
if you're
I
not
call
there,
them couch coaches.
right. You're like, oh, listen, I would have did this. Oh, yeah, from your house when you've never like a state championship, but you're going to go in there for a world championship and you're going to beat them, right? Yeah, I'm sure. And, the same thing. I had people messaging me saying like this, Jerry, why did you let him get over there? What do you think? I fucking wanted him to get right? That to happen, right? And they're like, how come we didn't press him from the get-go? Oh, because I wanted it to be a long match. Crazy.
Yeah. How many people at 130 kilos have lots of cardio? That's so. Yeah, I start off really enjoying it, and then I get frustrated. And the culmination for me, when I was just like, oh my God, I've got to stop doing this, was ages ago. It was I think it was East versus West 2. East versus West 2 or 3, and Monster Michael Todd lost one of his matches, and he went live straight afterwards. And everyone was telling him what he should have done. And I'm like, most of us get flash pinned at a tournament, like against local amateurs. And you're trying to tell, a 20-time world champion, a 10-time world champion, what I think it was against Gennady. I'm like, what he should have done? Like, you're trying to tell Jerry what he should have done? Like, I understand people just having their advice in the comments, but to then like message you, like, why didn't you do this? It's like, motherfucker, like, are you kidding?
I get a kick out of it though. I'm like, hey, thanks for taking the time to, share your comments, but I definitely didn't want to be in that position.
That's I'll tell you a position you're in a good position is I think they gave you a bigger shirt this time.
They did. I went last time I had a 5X, and Turkish 5X. I don't know. It's like 5X to me. I feel like that's the fat boy class, But that was the last time. This time I had a 7. Right?
A 7.
It fit. But I feel like I'm a little bit smaller too because I was 10 pounds lighter than when I went against Gennady.
Oh wow, that's a good fact.
30. This one I weighed 320.
Now everyone wants to know about all the juicy stuff that we'll get into. GB with the super chat says, Jerry, honestly, do you think you can beat Devin 3-0?
I don't know if it'll be 3-0, but I will win. Right? He got me 3-0 back in 2017, and if you go back and look, I had Lyme disease. I didn't know I had it at that meet, right? And so I was just tired. I was exhausted. I thought I was just getting old, right? And then it ended up my kid ended up having it too, and we had to bring him to Hasbro Hospital, and he had Lyme meningitis, and it was really bad.
Ooh.
Then, so it was later on, I ended up going and getting diagnosed and found out, I had it real bad. And it makes so much more sense because I was weaker, I was slower, I was getting tired. And I'm like, man, I really got to start working out. I'm just getting old. My body must be slowing down. And but I was still able to pull out the 2 wins, right? One was on fouls. The other was I pinned him. And then the other one, we had a war. And then the last one was somewhat close. But it was the right side of the table won every match. And if I could do it, and he trained hard for that match. And I know I said he weighed in at 280 and someone else said he weighed in at 260. I was there at the scale. And it's just going back 6 years. So it wasn't 260, right? Because he had weighed 260 before. And we even had a conversation, Devin and I, about this is the heaviest he's ever been in his life. And he put the weight on to go against me. And but I don't give a shit, right? The point of the story is that I wasn't healthy. And I went in and I still held my own with him. Sure, first match he got me. But if you look at the tape, and I got the pictures and the shit, he started with his right shoulder turned in every match that he could. Every match that his right shoulder was away from Bart.
Yeah.
So if we were to go again, it's not going to be at, with those refs. It's going to be with a real refs and real rules that are going to prevent able to get into that position and cheat.
How does it feel moments after, or even moments before and moments after? Because I love all this jargon back and forth and things like that. I think it's great. But how does it feel like someone like you that's in there? That just moments after you win, you've got Devin on the YouTube saying that he's just going to destroy you, and you're going back and forth with you offering him 2-1 odds and things like that. How does that make you feel? Like, damn, I just wanted to enjoy this win.
Yeah, he's that type of guy, right? He sees someone else, they're doing okay, and then he's like, I want to jump on their skirt tails. But it is what it is. I mean, Devin, he's Devin. But I did, right? I mean, I made it public. It was out there, when I was dormant for a year and a half, and they took me out of the rankings. I did publicly put out there, I says, I'll give 2-1 odds, anyone that's ranked top 5 to go against me. And all it was crickets, right? No one said shit. And so Devin did, in Devin's defense, Devin did say, oh, maybe I should do that. Are you being serious, Jerry? But that's typical Devin fashion, right? That's saying, I think I can eat 2 pounds of steak, right? But then he doesn't try it. But so he did say he was thinking about it, but he never contacted me to set it up because I would have did it.
Oh, wow. We'll keep going with this in a moment, but we've got to thank the big Marcus Thompson. Have you heard of Marcus Thompson, Jerry?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got to get you a formal introduction with this guy. He runs Arm Gods. Arm Gods, this shirt that I've got here. Promotion in the UK and Ireland. He says, Jerry, congratulations at East versus West. Great result. Now down to business. After your next small match with either Hermes, Levan, or Devon, who would you really want to pull at the next Arm Gods promotion? Oh, get ready to party like you've never seen before. Because their next event is going to be in Canada.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they're big on, they're getting worldwide people. Devon was at the last one as a special guest. Cobra Rhodes pulled there. Myself, Uncle John, we were there. Uncle John pulled. I did the commentary and MC, obviously. And then, so they're like, oh, let's have a bit of a UK versus Canada fun rivalry. We'll have the next one at Canada because they're giving that WAL style feel. Like they had everyone surrounding the athletes. They had the smoke, the bloody sparkles and everything as you came in. It was electric, man. It was unreal. Atmosphere, nailed it. So they're going to be Canada between August and October, I think. So if you could pick someone to have at Arm Gods, Marcus is the man. He's no bullshit. Who would you want?
I don't know.
Would it be a Dave Chafee? Would it be a Monster Michael Todd? Can we get that match?
I don't think he wants it. And what would it have to be an American?
No, well, no, Marcus. If if it's right for the business, if you think of a European or anyone else, like just say some names. Marcus is a proper business bloke.
So, yeah, give me a little bit of time to think, and obviously that would be cool. Especially I like the part where he says you party like you've never seen before. I've seen
Oh,
I've seen some crazy parties, so it's gonna be tough to beat. So, but I'm always up for that.
mate, these guys went nuts. Even I tapped out. I was like, I gotta go call my wife. See you guys. Like everyone there were awesome. And then if it's just going to be up the road from where you are, Marcus, let's tee something up with Jerry.
Yeah, Marcus, set it up. I'm down.
Maybe I'll get your phone number because Marcus is on Facebook. Maybe I'll get your phone number afterwards, Jerry, and I'll give it to Marcus.
Yeah,
and we'll tee something up. Look at that, Jerry Cadorette. Gods. Thank you very much, Marcus. I'll get to some questions a little bit more in the chat, guys. What would it take, Jerry? What's it going to take? Because there's 3 matches, and we're going to start with the Devon one. Then we're going to talk about Hermes and Levan, and then we'll wrap it up. But what would it take for you to pull Devon?
I'm not against it, and I think inevitably it'll happen. I just know that the path that I've been wanting was I was anxious to pull Hermes and pissed that I got hurt and hurt my labrum, but I did tell Engen I'll still pull with a hurt labrum, with the torn labrum. I says I'll probably be like 60-65%, but I think that was enough to beat him. And everyone got pissy that I said that, but whatever, right? I don't care, right? And I saw his match with Dave, and obviously I struck a nerve last time talking about Hermes because then he went and made a video about me. He should really be focusing on Levan, but he went and made sure I felt special because he took the time to make a video about me, right? But
yeah, yeah, because that just because you were like Devon, I'll crush you day drinking and things like that as your Facebook post and all the fun stuff, and then like Hermes just come out of nowhere and was like, Jerry, shut your mouth.
Yeah, and then notice he's like, you should go take the match with Devon. Yeah, why? Because he's scared after he gets his ass kicked by Levan that he doesn't want to go against me. That'll be 2 losses in a row, so I get it. He doesn't want to lose, stick someone else in between so he can try to get a win and get some respect back. But whatever, right? It's listen, I can talk all kinds of shit about Hermes. I think he's a great dude. You can't not be around him and then not have fun, right? He's a hot hit. We get along good, but the day that we compete, he's not going to like that, Jerry.
Yeah. So 6-round super match. What's the score going to be? You versus Devon.
Me versus Devon.
Yeah.
Out of 6 rounds, are we going to pull all 6, or is it just best?
Yeah. Okay. Nah, pull all 6.
If we pulled all 6, I'm guarantee I win 4, and the other 2 will be left up to we'll see, but. It's just not in my DNA to lose, and I'll make sure that I think I would win first one, second one, and then maybe the third. If I was to lose, it would either be the 3rd or 4th match that I'll lose, and then I'll come back and win the next one. And then after I'm up, the last match, I won't give a shit about the 6th match, because once I win 4, then I have it. So the 6th match, I'm going to try to fuck with them and just like to make them look bad.
Yeah. And save again, six rounds with Hermes.
5-1.
Ooh. Lovely. I absolutely love it. We'll get to some of these things in the chat, guys. King Otto says that you really want Bowen next. That's what he really thinks. What else have we got?
Bowen, I was just, I always liked Brian, and then it was East versus West 4. He'll tell you this too. We rode in the cab together from the airport, so we had to spend like an hour and a half together, right, in the cab. Cool. We were all hanging out, chatting, eating. Then we went to the hotel. We were eating breakfast. We're hanging out together, and then Engen, when they did the pitches and weigh-ins and shit, Engen goes and asks for predictions. When he asked for predictions, no one was in the room, right? You had to go in alone. And then when you go in alone and do the predictions, he predicted Gennady to win. So I got butthurt about it, because Engen went and showed it to me after. And both Ryan and Gabby both picked Gennady. All our other teammates all picked me. And listen, regardless of who I thought was going to win, every prediction I did was always for my team. And I'd rather be wrong, but root for the right person, right? Because it's not like you're getting paid to make the predictions. So he chose Gennady, and he knows this too because I gave him a ton of shit after I found out. So he was on my shit. But it's all right. I proved him wrong.
Yeah, wow. You proved a lot of people wrong. That is for sure. To come back and do what you did against Gennady was unbelievable. White Wolf with the super chat. Thank you very much. He says, Jerry, at Arm Gods, the party is bigger than the pool. Short jump to Ottawa from New England, eh? Oh, from the White Wolf. I'm telling you, man, we'll work that out. We'll get you on. We'll get you on Arm Gods. Thank you very much, White Wolf, you dead set legend. Everyone in the chat. Guys, we're going to go for about another 5 or so minutes. I've got a couple more questions for Jerry, and then we'll get to some awesome questions in the chat from you guys.
Cool name, right? White Wolf. I like that.
And he's a cool dude. He flew to England, to Ireland, when we had Arm Gods. So I got to meet White Wolf in person, and he's a really good dude as well. So there's some really good dudes that I met in the chat. Big B he's in the chat. He's a really good dude that came over. Evan McGowan was there. Alan Ford was there. I've met Uncle John before, but all the others were awesome. Right, you were talking about where, for me, I feel because you're the East versus West champion and you defended your title, I feel you are in a position to pick and choose who you are next. You're the champion. Who do you want next? Who do you feel you should have next?
Well, ideally, right, it just depends on when the match would happen, right? And ideally, I'd love to go against the winner of Levon and Hermes, right? So it would be Levon. And but I can't go against him in this shape. I have to put weight on. I have to get stronger, faster, bigger, all the components that need to happen, right? And that's not one that you can go in half-cocked, right? So I'll tell you, the picture that I saw of him, it was like a reflection of a window. If that picture was anywhere close to accurate, he looks like he's a fucking silverback gorilla.
Yeah.
Right? I want his DNA tested, right? And it's crazy. So it's I know it's bad when my mom saw it, and my mom's like, "You can't go against him. That guy's not human," right? And I said like this, I know, right? But so it is what it is. I want that match because everyone wants to be able to have a shot at him, and the guy don't pull that much. So ideally that would be it. But then if it was pushed out, like I think he competes once every 13 months.
Yeah.
So if it was out far, then I'd obviously want a match in between, and I wouldn't mind beating Hermes.
Yeah. So what would be your ideal time frame to take on Levon?
Well, he competes next month, right?
Yep.
And that's February. So February, March, April. I would say probably June. I could be ready.
Yes. Oh, that's got to be at the next king of the table. That has to be at the next king of the table. Oh, I'm going to send this to Don and the team over there, especially if Levan can just back up 3-4 months after it. Wow, most people say 12 months, 18 months. Jerry Cadorette just says, I just need 6. Not a problem. After I've just pulled, and I'm happy to have a match in between. So
I know math must not be your strong suit. That's 5 months.
Yeah, well, we're at the end of January now, isn't it? Yeah, it's it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Also, I wanted to reach out. The WAL put a picture of you, and they said big things are coming. Have WAL reached out to you recently? Or they just picked that awesome picture of you.
Yeah, right. I talked to them, but there's no definitive plans that were told to me. So they are working on something, and they want to come back, but I got no definitive plans. I got nothing, right? So everyone knows as much as I know, right? I at least thanked them for using my picture, but
there we go. I would absolutely love it. Guys, a couple more minutes. Have you got some really good questions for Jerry Cadorette? Because he's given us his time at the moment. We really appreciate it after a massive win against Georgi Tsetkov. Also, let's quickly hit the like button. We've got just about 200 people here and only 90 likes. You guys know what to do. Honolulu in the house. Albert, he's pretty happy. He's a very happy guy. Who else is in the chat? Rob from Swansea disagrees. He says Jerry will never be ready for Levan. But what I say to that, Rob, is, look, at this stage, maybe you could be right. As Jerry said, we're saying before, Levan doesn't look human. But at least Jerry wants to put up the Dukes and have a crack at Levan. And anyone that wants a shot, I'm on.
And remember, Levan has not gone against anyone that is a presser like me, right? There's no presser like me, but he hasn't gone against that move. We've seen him go against top roller. We've seen him go against a hooker, and he's won handedly against both. So I think he's not super fast. He's just super strong. He's not like slow, but he's not fast. So if I was able to get into my position quick, I'd love to see what he can do.
Oh, so would I, mate. So would I. I'd love to see if you can handle it. I'd love to see if he can handle you. I would absolutely love it. The tipster, what would Jerry like his weight to be when you face Levan? Because I think it's inevitable. 350.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's ridiculous. Kigodle, Jerry, who's your top 5 or your next 4 after Levan?
After Levan, I want to put myself right, and then I would say Hermes and Gennady are right there, and then I like Artem.
Oh, Morozov, what a jet that guy is.
I'd like to see Artem and Alex go at it. Ideal matchups for me would be like Gennady and Hermes, Artem and Alex, and then I think that in any particular order, those people could finish in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Jingle says, who do you think will be your next title defense at East versus West, assuming it's later on this year?
East versus West 8, is that what it says?
Yeah. Assuming it's at East versus West. Say you have the next East versus West off, and then you're at the next one.
I would guess I would like it to be, as I stated, right? I would like to go against Levan, but if that match didn't happen for some reason, then and I had to go the other route, I would like it to be Hermes.
So it is. So it doesn't matter where or when, you want Levan and Hermes next.
Right. And I think just Hermes and I have a score to settle, right? And the match was set up, and unfortunate, I didn't get to do it, right? Because I was open about my injury, and Engen wanted the best possible matchups, and I don't blame him. And then it would have been an excuse that I could have used had I not done what I should have done. And I get it from a promoter standpoint. So, but I really I want that match, and I've been an Hermes fan, right? I believe I was one of the first people to stand up for him because I love the passion. I love, the excitement that he brings to a match. And I have no quarrels about him. And I just want to settle the score between us on the table. I'll still buy him if I beat him.
Oh, of course, of course. Like, I think that's what sometimes people forget. Like, you can go back and forth on YouTube, and you can say "shut your mouth" and "you're weak" and "I'll pin you." But we're men, we're Neanderthals. Back in the old days, Jerry, if you and I had a problem at the pub or the bar, as you guys call it, we'd go at the back, we'd throw down. You'd probably toss me in a bin, but then then it's back in. You pat me on the back, put a beer in front of me, and it's over. And I think that's what people just tend to forget. Jerry will say, "I'm going to crush you, Hermes, then Levan, then Devon, all at once." But as soon as the 5 rounds is done, Jerry or whoever is the first one at the bar, here's a double whiskey, here's a beer. Hey, what a match. So I think it's
absolutely.
I think it's great. Apparently, Levan said Jerry would break his arm if he tried to press. So we might have to go watch that Levan video.
Yeah, we'll have to see, right? I mean, I don't think that would happen, but that's okay.
Yeah, and probably one of the last questions, guys. With which strategies and tactics do you plan to beat Levan from Andren?
Well, I don't think it's going to be a shock to anyone, but I would definitely try to throw my shoulder behind my hand quick and go drive through him. I would expect, and I don't know, but I would expect that he's going to try an open hand top roll. And I think which will allow me to get into a position. And if I can slow him down and stop him, right, then I would, think that he's going to wear out of before I wear out, right? Because he's 400 pounds. And he's going to be, and it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be whatever, but I visualize myself attacking with my shoulder and my hand, jumping in and getting in there and applying pressure that he hasn't felt. So I know he trains with Gennady, and I know Gennady said that, he does okay, right, with him, right, that they can go back and forth. So if he's not dominating Gennady, then I don't know that he's going to dominate me if he's not dominating Gennady. But again, it's not a go, it's not a meet, it's not whatever. Him and Gennady, they just train. So I don't know, right? I like to think, and the body does what the mind tells it to do. So if you see yourself and you visualize yourself winning and doing it, that's what the body wants to do. And at no point am I going to visualize myself losing. No one wants to be a loser. That's not in my character buildup. I'm in it to win it, and in it to pin it.
Well, that's right. And I think the biggest loser from East versus West 6 were the straps. Can we get thick straps for thick pullers? You kept slipping out of them.
and I'll tell you, that was another difficult thing, was the straps, where they were coming loose on us because they were allowing them to be too loose. They should have a better setup for that, because having them bad enough that you slipped and had to go in the straps are supposed to prevent you from slipping again. But when I notify the ref that the strap is too loose, and I know that's people's gimmick, is they want to let the strap be loose so they can try to roll out high on my hand, especially if I'm pressing. And I mean, I'm not dumb. So you'll see the only match that it affected me was the one where I lost, and the strap came loose, and then we had to redo it, and then it was loose again. So it put me in a bad position.
Yeah. And yeah, but just yeah, I was like after 6.5 hours, and you guys kept coming out of the strap. I almost flew to Istanbul and just brought a big bloody bull rope myself to tie you guys together. It was getting out of control. Flatballs 2094 with the last super chat of the day says great match and win last week, Jerry. Got to go. Thanks as always to you guys, Aussie, and the promoters of this beast of a sport. Thank you very much, Flatballs. We are definitely very appreciative of your support as well as the pullers. Ladies and gentlemen, can we all please say thank you to the East versus West super heavyweight champion? Oh, yes! Yes!
My kid made that for me when I came home. Pretty cool, right?
That is brilliant. That is brilliant. I love that because my wife, whenever I go away on trips, she makes me she puts up signs and balloons and things like that. What a superstar.
Made that one, and then one made this one.
Yes.
Pretty cool, right?
I mean, the argument's there now. You're East versus West super heavyweight champion. Yeah, you've been a little bit more active than Levan. There could be an argument that you're number one in the world. Yeah. There could be I think Levan's number one in the world, but when you're more active.
Hey, to be number one, you got to beat number one. So I have no trouble going after him. Just let's get it set up, make it happen, and then we let everyone talk their bullshit after, and they'll be like, I'm sure I'm gonna shock people because he hasn't even been stopped. So
yeah,
no one's blown right through me.
No, and I can't wait. All eyes will be on King of the Table, and I know this man here will definitely be watching King of the Table. Guys, can we all please thank the East versus West super heavyweight champion? It is Big Daddy Lickety Lips, Jerry Cadorette, my man, as everyone's saying. Congratulations to you. Thank you so much, Jerry, for your time and coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. You're always a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely love it. As a